it's Tammy with Debbie Tammy Creations, and today we're going to be creating this lovely pendant, which is based on an odd-shaped stone. It's kind of a rectangle, but then up at the top it turns into sort of a curve, almost looks like an oval. And this one I have named Lili, after my good friend Lili. And she is not afraid to wear large pieces like this. I think she would like this one a lot, actually. So I named this one in her honor, and I hope that you will keep watching and enjoy making this pendant with me. Thanks. Hello, so to make this pendant, you will need the following items. This is optional, but if you have bail making pliers, you will need chain nose or tweezer nose pliers, flush cutters, round nose pliers, and another optional item are the nylon jaw pliers for straightening the wire. I have a large stone here. It is 2 inches tall and 1 1/8 inch across, and it kind of has a little curved edge at the top, but you could probably do this with a rectangular stone or maybe even a large oval. Then I also have some beads, copper beads of various sizes, and half round copper wire, which is 22 or 21 gauge. And I have 4 lengths of square copper, raw copper wire, and these are each 15 inches long because my stone is rather large. So to begin, we will start by taking our 4 lengths of square copper wire, and we'll take our half round wire. Let me get my glasses on. And we'll place it underneath so that the flat edge is underneath all 4 of these wires. And then you're going to begin wrapping by bringing that wire around. Okay. And keeping that flat side toward the wire as it comes around, over, and under, so that you're just seeing the rounded side, that half round wire. And then I like to use my nylon jaw pliers to press down as I go. Okay, and we will do that a few times just to connect the wires. And I've been having some trouble in my hand from just, I think, from holding wires like this, and also from weaving. So I had an injection here last week. It was so painful, but I've developed some arthritis since I've been doing this now for 3 years, and they offered to give me an injection, which was very painful. It burned, but it feels a lot better now. I also do have a brace that I can wear during the day that kind of limits the amount of bending that I do at that joint, the base of my thumb. But for making this, I'm gonna not wear that. All right, so I cut off the ends and just press down here. That's gonna be where I place my stone. Okay, so the bottom will be the full wrap, and then where I place my stone will be where those little half cuts were made. And then I'm gonna start bending along the sides, and it is okay that these come up over the top of the stone in the front. That's kind of what I want them to do anyway, down there at the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it over, and taking my chain nose pliers, I'm gonna take this very back wire and just bend it inward like this on both sides so that my stone has something to sit on, and this will keep it from falling out the back as well. So let me just stick that back in there and show you. This is the back. So I've got those two bends in there, and these can come on up along the back of the stone, while the rest of the stone, or the wires, some come up along the side. Let me just get these in order here. And one or two can come across the top like this. Okay, and then I just use my fingers to kind of bring those up along. This is a particularly shiny stone, so they're not wanting to stay along the sides, but that's okay because I do have it captured in the back. I'm going to go ahead and just pull with my finger when I'm looking at the back, just to bring this next to the last wire so that it comes up along the side a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm going to take one of these front wires, take the one from the right and cross it over, and then I can bring it around the back and around the other side. Just trying to keep these in order so the front one stays in the front. There we go. Bring it around to the back again. There we go. All right. And then you can just maneuver a little bit more with your fingers to get these. Now that it's secured around the neck, it's a little bit easier to maneuver those wires. There we go. Okay, so now I've got one wrap around. I'm just gonna leave this hanging out to the side for now. And then I'm going to bring a couple of these wires over to the side, and this one. So I've got two on each side and then three like this along the back. Now I think normally what I would do is do a weaving pattern on these, but because of my hand injury, I'm gonna start trying to do a few things, you know, when I can, a little bit more basic. So let me just pull this a little bit more to the left so that it's a little more centered over the stone. And then this is where I'm going to use my bail making pliers. And I'm going to use this one. Let me turn it the correct direction. Okay, so I'm going to wrap them around this one here. So just pulling those over, and then you can pull it out. All right. Now it still looks a little bit off center to me, but what I'm going to do is add some beading around on this side, and that will kind of level it out a little bit. So don't ever panic or worry when things aren't exactly symmetrical, because it doesn't really matter. You can balance things out later on with different elements. I'm going to bring this one back around again, and I'm going to continue around the back just to capture all of these wires from my bail. and bring it back around one last time. And I'm going to trim it off and then tuck in this little piece inside the veil, just to kind of hide it inside there. So, all right, that leaves us with these wires here on each side, as well as our 3 wires coming down the back. I'm gonna go ahead and bring one of them out to the side, to that side that I feel like is not quite balanced. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a few beads onto this. So it was my birthday yesterday. My sister gave me this really pretty container, and I put all my beads in here. So I'm gonna take some 4mm beads and just place them onto this 20 gauge wire. Okay, so I'm gonna do a few. I don't know for sure how many will look right, but let's just start with 4 or 5. All right, so I've got a few beads there, and we can decide kind of how we want that to look. Okay, so I'm just gonna bend this around and then bend around again and make a little curl here with my round nose pliers. This. And I'm just gonna lift up this wire so that I can wrap a little bit more of my half round wire. Around this connection here between these two. So this should help just to keep that connected. And just do 2 or 3 wraps here. Use my pliers to pull that through. All right, and then I can trim that off on either side and tuck that in. There. All right, so now we've got a little bit more that we can do with these wires. I'm going to go ahead and grab hold of the end of this bottom one on the right with my pliers and just start twisting my stone, and this will make that square wire twisted. See? And then from here, I'm gonna bring it around and I'm gonna follow it with this other one on the right. So just kind of chasing it around. This makes kind of a, looks like a little rose almost, a rose motif. So you bring one around and then you chase it with the other one. And I've got one that is twisted and one that is not twisted. And that's just going to be right in front of the base of my veil. Okay. And then I'm going to trim this one, and I'm going to tuck it in. Just going to try and tuck it in kind of behind, like that. And this one I'm going to trim and tuck it in inside my veil, I think. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and tuck it in kind of the same way. Ooh, just behind the motif as best I can. There. Well, that came up through the center, which is weird. There we go. All right. Now I've still got 2 wires over here and these 2 in the back, which I'm going to trim these 2 in the back and take my round nose pliers and twist them each direction. So I'm going to bend these, this one this way, and this one this way. Okay, just to kind of get those out of the way. And then we need to decide what to do with the rest of these wires. I think I'll bring the bottom one around and curve it like this and around to the back. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do the same little twisty with this one. And kind of follow this around, bring it around to the front like that, and bring it around to the back as well. So you have to kind of push those down hard against that stone to keep them from moving around too much. Then I'm going to trim these about here and wrap them around this stone, this wire. So I'm going to trim those. And I'm going to lift up this back wire just a tiny bit so I can get underneath it. And I'm going to bring this, oops, lift that up another little bit. Bring this around like that. And this one around underneath it. And you want to make sure that what you're doing here in the back is not affecting the front. So it's good to kind of keep your fingers on these as you're wrapping these around. And then just make sure that nothing is poking. This is a little pokey, so I'm going to tuck it under a little bit better. Because when someone wears this, that's going to be against their skin. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go ahead and oxidize it, and then I will show it to you at the beginning of the video. And thanks for watching.